this morning, we're taking a look at the joy of Christmas. Well, I think we'll still have to take a few from the messages we received earlier on. Is Christmas all about eating and drinking? Is it all about sharing love? What exactly is the essence of Christmas? What joy does Christmas bring? We have a guest in house who would help us to take a look at this conversation and what exactly we should use this season for, or how to celebrate the season. This morning we have Evangelist Austin Adigwe. He's a gospeler. And thank you so much, Evangelist Adigwe, for coming on the program today.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Joshua.
Well, perhaps just get it all out of the way. What is the Christmas season? What is it all about?
Okay, yeah, so for Christians, Christmas is a period that we do a lot of sharing with family and friends, whatever we have, exchange of gifts, and of course, prayer in worship centers. It's all about sharing love.
All about sharing love.
Yes.
But do people still realize the essence of Christmas, and how can people begin to understand that it transcends the eating, the drinking, though part of it, but the essence of Christmas itself, the essence of the season? Many have said, well, it's a season to also cast our minds back to how Jesus Christ, sacrificed his life for mankind, and how people should revere the season more than the merriment.
Well, while we might not completely divorce the merriment from the season of Christmas, it's also very important that as Christians, okay, we bring all the virtues that are embedded in Christ's teachings and messages, okay, to bear on the season and even beyond the seasons. And I can tell you that the spirit of Christmas, as was in the old, is still very much with us among majority of the Christians. Though because of the sustained period of moral decadence in our society, which of course has eroded all forms of value. So some see Christmas as the right period to show their affluence, to show how much they've been able to make throughout the year. So, and it breeds all manner of vices. But there are still Christians who have retained that same value, that Christmas is a period, if you are supposed to be remembering the needy all the days of your life, not just on a Christmas, but if you can't reach everybody, at least on day of Christmas, keep your doors open to whoever may wish to come in and benefit from whatever you have to give.
Okay, I'm a little bit bothered by the fact that you talked about it. You also alluded to the fact that the moral decadence into society, and that has actually eroded the whole essence of love. That for God so loved the world. That's it. And we want to believe. Of course, we couldn't. Historians have not been able to pinpoint when Jesus was born. Of course, but a date will have to be picked, and of course, the majority of people believe it's tomorrow. But how did we get to the part where a child will use his mom for money ritual, where mom will use the child that he gave birth to for sacrifice, or sell for 50,000 naira? How did we get to that point? Yeah.
Okay, well, it's quite disturbing, but I must also say that crime and criminality has always been with us, but the escalation now is what has become fearful, because you will recall that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by God several centuries ago, not for the good conduct, but for evil. So it has always been with us. But you see, for a people to really choose hate over love, you expect that over time, what we are seeing now, okay, will manifest. I tell people there are so many vices, just like you've rightly said, life doesn't really mean much to most people. That's because the simple commandment, which is love one another, Christ even said it, that is the greatest law.
Love.
The greatest law. Which means if you're not keeping that law, you are not keeping any other law, because every other law takes its roots from that simple instruction. If I love my neighbor, it doesn't mean that if you're wrong, I shouldn't call you out. But it means that I must always look at the effect or impact of my actions on you. So I do only those things that I would love others done to me. So if I want to use someone for money ritual, I should be asking myself, if there is a reversal of role, if I'm the one to be used for this, would that make me happy? If it will not make me happy, then I shouldn't do it.
Okay. Right. Earlier in the day, we had people tell us, we asked our viewers to share with us how they intend to spend their Christmas. And largely, many said it's going to be low-key Christmas for them because of the hardship in the land. And many said, well, we'll just stay at home and eat, and then that'll be it. And so, taking me back to how Christmas should be celebrated, I do know that there's no one size fit all celebration. Each person would have to do what suits them the most. Joshua has said he'll be home throughout today with his daughters and they'll play hide and seek.
I thought I was good for service.
No, after service, come on. You'll be home for the later part, for the greater part of tomorrow.
Playing hide and seek.
Playing hide and seek. So, has also the nature of the situation of the country, is this also playing a big role in how people would want to mark Christmas celebration? Yesterday on the program we talked about the hike in the prices of food items, how it is somewhat difficult for people to buy the things that they really want to buy this Christmas. So the situation of the country, is this also a deciding factor as to how people want to mark the day?
Yeah, exactly. You can't really outperform the economy. An economy that is struggling will not actually see you as an individual outpacing the economy. Yeah, it's a factor.
Okay.
But what people should also understand is there is a place for contentment. If maybe 2 years ago I had the means to celebrate with 5 live chickens, and this year I have the resources for just one, that shouldn't necessarily mean that my celebration is low-key. This is what I have available. So we'll still celebrate, because it's not all about the social angle to Christmas. You know, if I have 5 naira and I find someone who is in need of 5 naira and I choose to give the 5 naira, though the nominal value of 5 naira might be so insignificant, but know that I've given to you all that I have.
Right.
Someone who is going to give you 1 million that has 1 billion, in the eyes of God, I had done more sacrifice, because the 5 naira is small, but that's all I have.
Right.
So it's all about love. So if it's only chicken you have, if it's only the wings you have.
I like the fact that you looked into the camera and you said that, so that you're appealing to someone's conscience.
So
it
doesn't necessarily have to be the way it used to be. When the economy improves and we're able to do it the way we feel we want to celebrate, to appreciate the life and teachings of Christ, fine and good. But for now, whatever you can afford is what you can afford. And that doesn't make your Christmas less relevant in your life.
Okay, can we just define love here? Because love can be defined in many ways.
Yes.
Does it mean boyfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and girlfriend love? What kind of love are you talking about here?
Okay, so yes, if you love can be graduated, but the love God is talking about is, when you put other people's interests ahead of yours. That can only happen if you have, how would I put it now? I don't want to use the word love again. It means you are considerate. It means you're considerate. For example, just by driving, Lagos traffic, how it is. Everybody is moving. The moment you turn on your indicator light that you're turning to right, that is when everybody will start moving. Okay? So now, but you could also find someone who is struggling to do so. and you choose to stop, that act, you see, you've stopped, everybody will move, but you've stopped so that whoever is struggling is able to come out without hurting himself or herself. That is a show of love. It doesn't always have to be money. You know, it doesn't always have to be money, and there is no one size fits all in terms of love, because the love between a husband and a wife is different from the love between siblings. It's different from the love between you and I. Okay, so it depends. But the love that God is talking about is do to others what you would love others do to you.
Since we're still talking about love and the fact that you rightly mentioned that love isn't about money, only yesterday the federal government, concerned about the Omicron variants of COVID, is also saying that there might be the need for them to cut down the number of number of people that will gather, especially at cross-night services and all of that. And again, we're learning that some men of God are already kicking. Now, why would you want to reduce the number of people that will come to church? Yes, and so if we're talking about the reason for the season, and the fact that putting people's lives in danger could also be one of the reasons why government is thinking that, okay, maybe 50% capacity. Is that, can we quantify that under government's love for the people and, again, respecting constituted authority?
Okay, well, I'm a Christian. You introduced me as a gospel minister. You see, a place of worship represents to Christians where we gather to support one another in terms of our faith and everything. But I tell you, that is just a place of worship. The church is you and I. That was why when they shut down the entire globe, does it mean God was not still answering, went out of the business of answering prayers? God was still answering prayers. It's just for us to understand. Anyway, my own definition and the way I understand all this, Christianity is about your personal relationship with God. It has got nothing to do with where you worship or who you worship with. It's your personal relationship with God. So if there is a killer virus that could wipe off a generation, there is no responsible government that will just, allow things escalate without putting up some measures. So if they are limiting the capacity, which of course does not completely
say that
you cannot even contract the virus, even at that 50% capacity.
True.
But at least let's even manage it. We should understand as Christians that Nigeria is challenged. We do not even have the health care system
capacity
to
withhold,
exactly that can support any further surge. And in any case, if we choose to unleash Omicron variants on ourselves,
it is even right now.
So the same money the government would have used for other things will now be channeled to helping whoever contracts it. So I think it's in order.
It's in order.
Okay, I like a story. I love stories a lot. So what we're looking at, the joy Christmas brings. What was the favorite Christmas period that you can remember?
That was back in the days.
Take us back there, just for a few seconds.
What
happened?
Yeah, then our parents could allow us go to neighbor's house to go and eat only on Christmas Day.
Going to neighbor's house to eat. This is the thing that has just been recurring since morning. So Joshua has been relishing in that.
Yeah, it's very amazing.
But those days it was just, on a Christmas day. These days, you won't allow your kids, even now, to move to the next neighbor's house.
So why would the neighbor now allow their own kids to come to
a lot
your
has
house?
changed. Growing up then, I think there was more love, okay, and then less of all these crises we see all around us. I mean, parents could leave us on.
We trusted one another back then.
Thank you very much. The trust was there. So you could leave your words, they go out. And we move from one neighbor to the. It's not like one neighbor. You finish here, you go and knock. We are here. We've come
And they
for
don't even
Christmas.
give you money when you're leaving.
So at times we arrange that we don't want food. What we want is money. So when they say, "What are you people going to?" You say, "We don't want to eat anything.
Just give us money."
Just give us money.
I mean, those are stories that. Do you, I mean, if you look back and do you wish that we could bring back those days, that we could replicate those days now, and just so that we all can again begin to think about this season and what this season stands for? Because if we cannot go into one another's homes to felicitate with one another without having doubts at the back of your mind, is this food genuine? Are you sure that you know,
something is not going to happen?
Exactly. So, because we suspect one another a lot in recent times. But if you were to look at the freedom, the joy that children had, I mean, you won't even sleep on a Christmas
We are the
Eve
children.
like,
that you had. We are the children.
So you won't even sleep on a night like this because you're already mapping out the day, the places that you will visit tomorrow. So, I mean, do you look forward to this country going back to periods like that?
Well, it might be mere wishful thinking to start wishing that we restore all those virtues. The reason is, in those days too, you know, we weren't exposed to the internet the way children of nowadays are exposed to the internet. So what I see here as the problem is we're using the same old methodology to tackle new
challenges.
New challenges.
So we just there's a very big mismatch. So it may not happen.
It may not happen. Okay.
Okay, I've got one more question for you. How do you intend to spend your Christmas tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, with my family. We might, well, it depends. They decide where. Mine is, I'm the driver.
They drive you.
So wherever
they tell you where.
This is where we're going to.
Okay.
Put it on the map. I'm just. But tomorrow is for them.
Tomorrow is for the family. Right. So as a country, also there are fears that some regions may not witness a peaceful Christmas because there are palpable fears that there could be attacks here and there. Northeastern Nigeria not safe. A couple of places, not sure whether or not you would wake up to a good Christmas day. For you as a Nigerian and for one who believes in the powers of God Almighty, what are some of those things that you wish can just not, in terms of security now, that you wish would just be a thing of the past and we never get to talk about them anymore in Nigeria?
Of course, the wanton killings, if it can stop. But I won't tell you that we're going to wish it away. You know, we have to be deliberate as a people. You see, prayers have a role in our life. We're pursuing two things: salvation, okay, and also economic survival. The insecurity in our land, okay, will be tackled head-on through deliberate strategies. We can pray over it. Does it mean that those that fell into the hands of those bad ones, does it mean they've not been praying? Does it mean they are not religious? It tells you something. We as a people must take deliberate steps. We must take deliberate steps to curtail this. There was a time in this country, maybe you might have forgotten, we used to pray for dialing tone. Instead of looking for the right technology, we pray for dialing tone. How relevant is praying for dialing tone today? So let us tackle this insecurity issue with technology. You are here, you can call someone in Sokoto and you are able to discuss freely. So why can't we adopt modern technology to tackle this insecurity? I can only feel that probably some interests are benefiting from it. That's my own opinion.
Right.
Because everything is there. If you can, in America, there are crimes, people commit crimes.
True.
But the fact is that you commit crime in America, they will get you. They will surely get you. Even if it takes 1 year, they will get you. Because they have been able to institutionalize those things that would always lead whatever crime you've committed back to you.
All right, I think we need to go now, but we won't leave without asking you for your special Christmas wish as we wrap up the program this morning.
Well, my special Christmas wish for Nigeria and my fellow Nigerians is for God to intervene, give us the leaders, and also prepare us as good followers, because it's not just about leadership. Prepare us as good followers. Give us the leaders with vision that can help us tackle the myriads of problems that we're currently facing.
Right.
Thank you very much, Evangelist Austin Adigwe, for joining us this morning. Your smile is very infectious, so I'm going to laugh off the show this morning. And of course, it's a pleasure. Hopefully, we can ask you to relive your moments from tomorrow, next year. After you join us again. So that's the size of our package today. Of course, I've got some Christmas message for all of you, and that is what the scripture says: love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might and your strength. And the other one is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. No commandments are more than these commandments I've given to you. So how are you going to spend it? Is it with love or with selfish interests? And that cuts across both the leaders and the led. For me, I wish you Merry Christmas, and of course prosperous New Year. We're going to do that one later. But of course, I am Joshua Murakinyo. When you see something, you say something, and of course you do something. Have a great day.
To everyone who's been part of the program today and all week long, the cameramen, the technical directors, the floor manager, who else now, the audio guys, all of you, you've been very awesome. Thank you so much for the love and the sacrifice that you give on Morning Delight. Thank you so much. And to you, our viewers, we definitely cannot do this without you. And so our message for you today is: may the miracle of this Christmas fill your heart with joy. We'll see you again on Monday. Happy holidays. I am Abimbola Bello. Good morning.
The year 2021 Lagos Television Family Picnic is with a difference. Shopping for the Yuletide does come with its challenges, but let's take the stress off you in a special way. From the 20th of December 2021 is the Mile 12